Good morning and welcome to another edition of Rising Q's. This is where we answer your questions, and I don't think any of us know what the questions are in advance, so
nope.
You know,
we are unprepared.
So just keep that in mind.
As usual.
Yes. All right. So, Robby, I think you've got the first question here.
Yeah, this is from Nordland, who is a fan of the show, Twitter user who does tie reviews of the things the ties that we're wearing, Ryan and I. I really appreciate them. I try to favorite and retweet them when I see them. So. Thank you for that. He asks, he or she, America spent so much money on nuclear missile defense during and after the Cold War. Was an invasion of Eastern Europe and our ability to not be scared of nuclear deterrent one of the reasons we did this? I'm not sure what I think about that. We were obviously during the Cold War, we were afraid that the Soviet Union would eventually try to expand further into Eastern Europe. A lot of our nuclear deterrence stuff was not well thought out, I think, but it might have been it was a realistic concern, right?
We moved the missiles to Turkey. Right?
Yeah.
In order to directly threaten the Soviet Union.
Yeah, it was mostly proxy wars, though, like right. Vietnam, etc.
Right. It was the result of pitiful intelligence on the part of the U.S. that the Soviet Union, very early on in its post-World War II history, decided that they were not going to be kind of an expansionist power. That they were just going to basically try to lock down what they had. And you constantly see them in memos to the Indonesian Communist Party, to like the Nicaraguans, saying, participate in the political process. The objective conditions are not right for armed struggle. In a lot of cases, the parties would ignore them. And in the U.S., we'd be like, well, that must be Stalin waging international war. Totally wrong. Now that all the archives have been opened up, we were totally wrong about it. They were not planning to invade Europe, but in fact, Stalin said he wanted to join NATO, which Putin said too.
Yeah.
We're like, no, it's to fight you.
Right.
We can all have one big NATO party. Maybe that's the solution. We put Ukraine and Russia in NATO. And then we all defend each other from ourselves.
There was a huge element of the Russian elite and population that genuinely thought that was what was going to happen after the Soviet Union fell, that Europe would welcome Russia into the fold, and requested to be in NATO, requested all of the other, and they were like, no, we're going to pick your carcass and strip mine this country. What makes you think we were going to do anything else?
And that's really upset a lot of Russians because, they are culturally closer to Europeans than, let's say, Turkey is. When you look at Istanbul versus Moscow, culture and religion and everything. And so there's been a lot of discussion. Obviously, Turkey is asked to join the West, essentially, and to be made part of the EU. And obviously, Turkey is in NATO. And that has rubbed a lot of Russians, because they really love Americans. They really do.
Beatles,
they like America.
They love the jeans.
They like everything.
They love cowboys.
And so they really did it. Like Ryan says, they really did believe that once the Soviet Union collapsed, that they would be embraced in it. They would be made a part of Europe. Moscow is a European city, and they believed it would be embraced. Yeah, and it just hasn't been. But we have to have a big boogeyman, in order to keep the military-industrial complex going. And I think it's a good question. Look, we did build up all of this mass arsenal of weaponry, and for what, it doesn't. And then when suddenly Russia invades, we're kind of afraid. So I don't know. It kind of does make us question what was the point.
Well, I guess the point is if they do invade a country we're actually sworn to defend, then we would use it.
Theoretically, hasn't happened, so we don't know. It just it stopped. We keep saying there's a red line.
The thought being it stops them from doing it because they know we have it. But anyway, the next question is from agoraphobic nomad. You want to take this, Kim?
Sure. Okay, here we go. Supreme Court nominations are going to be pure theater from now on. Where did this all start? Were the Democrats justified in nuking the filibuster? Were they responding to a longer-term strategy from Republicans to appoint certain types of judges? When did this start? You guys would know better.
Quick tweak on that. So in 2013, Democrats eliminated the filibuster for circuit court judges on down.
And then
and then in
Republicans.
2017, McConnell got rid of it for Supreme Court justices after Democrats filibustered Neil Gorsuch. There are a couple of different theories on where this started. The Republicans will say this started with Bork, that tanking Bork was, set off a chain of events that led to where we are today, plus how mean they were to Clarence Thomas over the entirely true allegations of sexual harassment. Ironically, they weren't even that mean to him. Joe Biden had multiple other witnesses who could confirm and also bring forward other allegations that Joe Biden refused to allow to testify. That aside, Democrats will say that this is about Merrick Garland, that once Republicans broke the contract and said this president uniquely in American history does not get to appoint a Supreme Court justice, and we're just not going to vote on it, that ended it. And
Republicans will also say that, it started with Bork and then Thomas, but that I know Republicans that do say this, that the Kavanaugh fiasco upped the ante and it can never be backed down from again.
Which the Kavanaugh was, it was hotter both because of the assault allegation, but also because it was in the context of post Merrick Garland.
Right. And it was actually, and it was changing the ideological composition of the court, right? Because he was,
Right. All right, last question.
That's his Sentia Caput Astra. I don't speak Latin, if that even is Latin. So, being a Gen Xer, Ryan Grimm reminds me a lot of Kurt Loder from MTV. Are there any TV personalities from the 90s that influence how you host the show?
The funny thing about that, so Kurt Loder actually writes movie reviews for Reason Magazine, where I'm also employed. And he's a big fan of, so I thought of him during your radar yesterday because I think he was one of the first people to announce on television that Kurt Cobain had died. And he's a big fan of Nirvana, and I know from reading his film reviews he's a big fan of movies about that time period and that story and everything. So I thought of him yesterday, and here we get a question about him, and he looks.
Yeah.
There you go.
I guess I see the resemblance.
So you're like Kurt Loder, huh?
I mean, and I only vaguely kind of know who he is, and my wife always makes fun of me for this because am absent so many cultural touchstones from that period. We mostly didn't have a television, and if we did have a TV, we definitely didn't have cable. And so all these other kids are talking about MTV and stuff. And I'd see it at their house. And when I would go to my dad's house, he had cable, but he hated MTV. He hated Beavis and Butthead. He'd come in
Beavis and Butthead.
But come on, we don't even have a TV at Mom's house. Let us watch the Beavis and Butthead. So no, I don't know.
Who's your hosting style, Kim? I don't know.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I get compared to Megyn Kelly all the time. That's the one I always hear. But
she's super talented.
She's great. Yeah. That's because you have her positive attitude as you report the news, I think. She has
maybe. Yeah. But in the beginning I got compared a lot to Maddow, which I thought was interesting. And then I think maybe that was because the radio voice and kind of coming from that genre and then moving over. I don't know, but yeah, that was I wish it was somebody cooler, like Kurt Loder from MTV. I mean,
well, I did watch a lot of I'm a 90s kid. I watched a lot of Nickelodeon game show type stuff, so maybe my hosting is
Spirit Animal. Your host Spirit Animal.
Inspired indirectly by the kind of manic game show hosting, getting pies thrown in your face.
What's it, Bob?
The slime dropped on you.
Bob Barker.
That whole thing.
Bob Barker.
Everybody says
Price is Right.
Price is
people
Right
say
guy.
that Robby reminds them of a serial killer.
What?
That's what people say in the comments.
No, that's Ted Cruz.
Yes. No, they say that Robby actually looks like that Skarsgård guy that plays the It character. They say that you're like that you look like the clown,
I know. The one. Hiya, Georgie. Right. That's from the old movie.
For Halloween, you should totally be the It character. I don't know.
Planning
what
to be
his name
Draco
is, I
Malfoy
forget.
for Halloween next year.
Pennywise. You should be
this guy.
Pennywise for
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah,
And then
I could see
the
that.
actor that plays Pennywise is a Skarsgård, and they're all very
Yep.
attractive blonde guys, and like Robby, so it
well,
makes
thank you.
sense. But I know that's not a host, but serial killer. I don't know.
I'm merely a person of interest in most of those cases. So.
I also
Well, we're
don't
not
think
dead yet, so.
I also don't think of myself as a host. I just think of myself as a reporter who's sitting here for now.
Right. Well, that's how it turned out, right?
Right.
We all got brought into this kind of randomly as after the previous hosts departed. We did not yes, we are television
Right.
hosts.
It's not my self-identity.
But it has worked out that way. Now we are. So
Yeah.
fantastic.
All right. Well, that does
Yeah.
it for us. And so as long as Robby doesn't murder us, we will be back.
No guarantees.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to ask your questions. You can tweet us on Twitter. It's #RisingQs. So #RisingQs. And you can be featured next week. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Stay safe, potential victims.
Stay safe.
And next week the questions will be for Brianna. She's going to be here.
Oh, yes. So send questions.
any questions for Brianna?
Yeah, she's going to be
you're
here
good.
because I'm about to murder Ryan.
Right.
So she's gonna replace
Oh,
him.
so Ryan won't be. Oh, gosh. Wow. So here I am saying hopefully we'll be back, and then they won't see Ryan. And
They're going to call you to
Rumors.
testify at my trial. Darn it.
rumors will.
I'm going to have to go kill you, too.
emerge.
Sorry.
A lot of witnesses. Excellent.
All right, bye, everybody. For real.